Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to a grade 3 module 2 lesson. Happens to be number 13. And this lesson really overlaps with yesterday's work. So if you felt good about rounding off to the nearest 10 in yesterday's lesson, then you're going to feel like, hey, I got this. And you'll feel real comfortable with today's lesson because it just continues on. Only a couple differences, and one of those differences is we're moving over 100, right? We're moving past the 100 mark. And another difference is we introduced this symbol, and the symbol is real small here. Let's see if we can hone in on that here. Get a little closer. Yep, we can do it. Look at what appears from a distance to be an equal sign is not an equal sign. It's a new symbol. I think it's a new symbol to you, and it's like wavy, right? And it means that it's rounded to the nearest whatever, right? So it's about. Another way to think of it is 43 is about, or we could think of it as is rounded, right? But it's a real important distinction. It's a real important thing to notice because it is not saying equal. It's not. So we're going to round to the nearest 10 and we're going to use the number line to model our thinking. And as we, I'm not sure if we put in the video yesterday these vertical number lines. In class we did them. I might not have included that in the video. But in class this is the kind of thing we did. We had a whiteboard and we'd let me see my pen. We would just draw a number line like this, put a hash mark on the top, a hash mark on the bottom, and then I'd ask students, find the midpoint, find the halfway point. And the halfway point is what's going to help us to determine whether we round up to the next highest 10 or whether we round down to the next lowest 10. We'd always be paying attention to that midpoint. And that's going to guide us, right? And let's take a look at this one. 43 is rounded to what? Well, we'll look at it, and it's going to become quite obvious. We'll show it to know it, right? That's why we do drawings. So we've got the 40. That's a multiple of 10 that's less than the 40, 3. The next multiple of 10, 50, and the midpoint is 45. We plotted 43, it's about there, and now we can see if the 43 is less than the midpoint, we round down to 40, and it is, so we can say 43 is rounded off to 40, like that. Here we go. 48. Well, which two multiples of 10 surround 48? Well, underneath it, so to say, less than 48 is 40, and the one just beyond it is 50. What is the midpoint? 45. Plot 48 to see it. Well, that would be somewhere around here, like 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, right? 48. And we ask ourselves, is it above the midline? Is it above this midpoint? Greater than the midpoint? Yes. So we round up to the next highest, 10. Essentially, that's the rule that we're going to keep referring to. We're going to keep asking ourselves, is the number above, greater than the midline, or less than the midline? And that's going to help us make the decision which way to round it. Okay? Let's do a bigger one. We'll skip down to the bottom as an example. 194. Well, we need to label this with the two multiples of 10 that surround 194. If we thought of this as 94, we'd probably say, well, the multiple of 10 under 94 is 90. So in this case it's 194, so this would be 190. And then 10 more than 190 is 200. And what is the midpoint? What is halfway between 190 and 200, 195, midpoint. So this particular number, 194, we would plot just about there, and we ask ourselves the same question. Is this greater than the midpoint or less than the midpoint? It's less than the midpoint, so we round to 190. All right, and that's the way that we'll tackle problems like this, okay? I'm zooming back out and show you another type of problem that we'll be doing. Round the weight of each item to the nearest 10 grams. Draw number lines to model your thinking. Well, the number line we're going to model our thinking is the one that I just modeled for you. So we've got a hash mark towards the top, a hash mark towards the bottom, and to our best of our ability, let's put a midpoint. So this is 45, so the multiple of 10s surrounding 45 are 40, and the next one, 50. What is the midpoint between 40 and 50? 45. Then we'll plot the serial bar as a point, and I'm going to plot it right there because it's 45. Uh-oh, it's exactly halfway. How far is 45 from 50? Well, that's a distance of 5. How far is 45 from 40? That's a distance of 5. Excuse me. They're equally apart. We need a rule. You might know the rule. There's a rule that we all use. Whenever something's exactly at the midpoint, the decision is round to the next highest number. Okay? When it's exactly at the midpoint, round to the next highest number. So rounding to the nearest 10 grams, we would say 45 grams is about, check out that symbol, that's going to be fun to draw, huh? Is about 50, or is rounded to 50 grams. Okay? And that's the way I'm going to ask you to make drawings. So number lines are going to be vertical like that, and to make statements, right, like that. All right, good luck to you. Have fun rounding to the nearest 10 and showing it on a vertical number line.